Hi everyone, this is Clyde. It is a situation agnostic economic simulator. I will describe an event and it builds a causal model and runs Monte Carlo simulations on it. Let's watch how it works. I click on the voice mode. Last October, AWS US East 1 went down for about 6 hours. What was the economic impact? Once you start running this, what happens behind the scenes is the LLM extracts the shock type, severity, scope, and like the time horizon. How it does this is by using the news MCP, which will fetch you all the relevant context related to that event. Once the context is fetched, it builds a knowledge graph around it. And after that, we can go to the environment setups. What this step will do is like it will create multiple agents with each agent having distinct background, personality, behavior, and trait. And we can start the simulation based on these actors' attributes. These agents will interact with each other and update the graph. If you can see, they are interacting with each other, and it will update the whole graph based on the interaction that happens in between the agents. Once this is completed, we can generate this is the output report that the simulation generated. And now we can see, we can also listen to the audio.
On October 19th to 20th,
and you can see the different factors that it has affected in the economic sector. Moving on to how we built this, we used Kiro, spec-driven development, in which we generated the requirements as the first step and the design documents, iterated it on multiple times, and then finally generated the tasks to be implemented. Even before generating tasks, we created some hooks in order to make sure that whenever we're trying to build the code parallelly, the code is aligned throughout the repository. And after each changes that the code is making, we make sure to update the README files so that the model stays aligned with the context. And then we also have some agent steering and skills file in which we provide some of the basic rules and the structure, how we want our code to be. We also have a few MCP servers that are connected to this in order to fetch context. And a few of the MCP servers that we used are Context 7 for building the code using the latest documentation, the news fetch code, and the Power Figma for generating designs for our UI. We also use Kiro Powers for API testing to design the code with Figma and the 11 Labs voice agent. This is our architecture diagram. So we have the voice input in which we speak about our situation, and then we have speech to text handled by 11 Labs, which is passed to our LLM, and then it handles the MCP to fetch contexts, and then after that it builds a knowledge graph on top of it and creates some actors. Those are like agent swarms which interact with each other that generate the simulation. And then we finally have the analysis and outcomes, which we can hear back through text to speech via 11 Labs. This is deployed on AWS. So that's it for our project. Thank you.